Hi, welcome. Today I'm talking to Ligia Grande, and we are talking about spiritual bypassing. Welcome to Ascension and 5D Chat, where we discuss what is happening with our planet's ascension journey. I am Rachel Chamness. I help lightworkers connect to their spiritual helpers and light path. Hi, thanks so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited, a little nervous, but very excited to share. Yes.
Well, let's just tell everyone about you a little bit. You can find Ligia at Divine Mother 144,000 WordPress.com, which is
Yes.
awesome. I love that you put that in your website.
Mm-hmm.
And Ligia is a Divine Mother Arc frequency holder, CPC, artist, chef, and priestess Lightwarrior. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been working the last 5 years in a group of priestesses, training, receiving initiations, activations, and working on divine sovereignty, assisting others regain their divine sovereignty back, doing a lot of planetary grid work, holding, highest frequency, working on doing shadow work. I mean, we've been doing a lot of stuff together in this group, all about assisting Mother Gaia in this process of ascension. Yes.
Oh, I love that. That made me feel so good when you said it. I could feel the vibration of it. It's just beautiful.
Yes, amazing. Yeah,
Oh, it sounds beautiful.
thank you.
Well, today we're going to talk about spiritual bypassing, and I can't think of a better topic for today because I feel like it's being ramped up. Gia and I talked a little bit about this last time on my show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I see, not only in regular people, but also a lot in the spiritual community, because some people are really obsessed with only thinking positive, thoughts and only
One night
focusing
only.
on the light and, pink and rainbows and unicorns. And there's so much more.
Yeah.
Um, we all hold a piece of the puzzle, and we have to take responsibility for what we bring into the collective. And there's no way, I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no way you can solve your problems just by positive thinking.
Yeah.
There's something that when we take responsibility for ourselves and stop projecting our stuff into others, we need to face our fears, our anger, our wounding. Most of us, myself, have woundings from childhood, etc. And the more we suppress, avoid,
Right.
reject, the bigger it gets. So, of course, one of our missions as spiritual light workers, light warriors, and all the people at Starseeds is to hold the highest frequency possible to assist Gaia. But in order to hold this frequency, this high frequency, you need to have a clear vessel. You cannot hold this frequency just by positive thinking and
That's right.
avoiding and rejecting your shadow side. The most beautiful work you can do is to work on your shadow wounding, because the more you clear yourself, the more you affect the collective and the more darkness you relieve from the world. I mean, there's so many people who are incredibly gifted in holding space for others, because holding space is almost an art.
It
Not
is.
everybody can hold space for others
And
because
then
they're
it's something
always,
you have to build up too. If you hold
yeah,
space for a lot of people, I hold space for a lot of people. So it was something I had to build up like little by little till I could hold space for,
yeah, that's
enough.
like a whole nother subject,
Yeah.
that we can go to. But spiritual bypassing, most of the things that I see is that, like I said, they're obsessed with holding this high frequency. But if you escape from your own emotions, emotions are the way of the body to acknowledge and tell you and show you what is going on with you. And you have to honor your emotions instead of rejecting them and shy them away. You have to sit down, process your own emotions, bring everything that has happened to the surface, and with compassion, grace, and love for yourself first and foremost, is when you can go through that process, and little by little, because it's not something automatically that you, like with a magic wand, make disappear. It's a process that lasts sometimes a lifetime. And
Yeah.
if you think that you are already enlightened and you have nothing to learn, you're like back in the end of the line. I'm sorry to say,
I
because
know.
you need a lot of humbleness, and
Yeah, I mean, nobody
modesty.
is totally enlightened or completely 5D. Of course, we go up and down. We're still human.
Yeah.
We have shadow work. I mean, it never ends. If you've
It
decided to take
never ends.
this path as
Even
a
the
light
masters
worker,
are even
yeah.
evolving, and expanding,
Well, that's
and
such a good point. Masters too, yeah.
yeah, everybody's the universe, as the planets, all the races, everybody's evolving, because light is endless, it's infinite. So we all have our wobbles, we're human. So the thing is that once you start doing this process of shadow work and acknowledging your wounding, it's one way that you can track your progress is, for example, the way you react onto things. And like I said, we all have our wobbles, especially now that there's so much darkness being revealed in the world. Thank God, because it's always been hidden. So the one way to track your progress is and say, okay, I fell down in my consciousness yesterday, for example. So how long did it take me to get back on track? How long did it take me to get back to 0 point and be balanced again and in my heart? That's the way. Oh, this time it took me, I don't know, 2 days or 3 days or half a day, whatever it is. So you can track your progress, and that's one of the ways I use, and I can see my progress in the last 2 years. I'm a completely different person, because I consciously, proactively do a lot of shadow work on myself, and I assist others as well. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's you should, I mean, people should be proud of themselves, just sitting down and facing their own stuff, because that's what we're here for. It's to clear everything and bring everything into light, everything into wholeness, our dark and light, because we are everything together. We're all being everything in this world. We've all done damage, darkness, dark things,
Yeah.
in all
Especially
our
past
incarnations.
lives. Yeah, we've done everything. No one
We've
is
done
here as a light
everything.
worker that didn't have some past life with black magic or doing something evil. We did all those lives so that we could learn, so that we could come and be a light worker in this time. I mean, but if you're here, it's because you worked for it.
Yeah, you earn it.
Yeah.
You earn your badges.
That's right.
Of
You're not
going
just
through
here
hell.
like to suffer. You're here
No.
because you decided to. And with suffering and shadow work, I mean, these are ways to grow. How do you react to that? And exactly like you're saying, where, how did I react to that? Sometimes, and I always talk about this, sometimes when you pinpoint something that you are triggered by, or something that you're trying to change, then you're going to start seeing it and seeing it and seeing it. And you could go to this place where, like, well, I can't stop it. Look how much I do it. It's worse.
Yeah.
It's not that it's worse. It's that now you see it.
Yeah.
Because now you're changing. It's
You're
really
shining,
like a good thing. Yeah.
You're shining light onto it. Yeah. It's like in a dark room. Everything looks okay. But once you shine the light on, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so messy. I have to clean this up. Yeah.
I love that.
Some people are so afraid of feeling anger or feeling sadness, but the pain body is the last one to heal of all the bodies, because you can, as an adult, you can be conscious of something that happened to you and say, okay, I forgive this person and I let it go, consciously. But the true work is through the body, the pain body. When you cry, when you release, when you take all of this, pain and get it out of your system, and then you can start feeling better, and of course, nobody wants to suffer. Who wants to sit down and do this messy work? I mean, I didn't want to do it, but I've been doing it for so many years.
I've been doing it too. Yeah, we should all be doing it.
Yeah. And also know that don't get obsessed with it, because you have to
this is so important.
Yeah, you have to also find the light and be grateful for your blessings, and
I'm so glad you said that. That's
see
so important.
the complete movie. You can, you focus your attention and your energy on solving a problem, but then it's done. Next,
I spent my time here. I did my work today. Now I'm going to let it go, see what my spirit guides, my angels, my helpers are going to bring to me to work on it some more. But for the rest of the day, I'm going to be in the present. I'm going to enjoy my life, because otherwise I see it sometimes, light workers just get so bogged down with it, they can't even get out. It's like they're in a hole of shadow work. You have to find a balance, because we'll never be done with it. And I think that's one of our lessons in this life, is like, how do we work with it in a way that doesn't take over our whole life?
I feel we need to work on losing our identity, and you achieve that little by little, because if you identify with your pain, it's all you see, and you're not your pain. You're so much more. Some people get lost in their diseases, and they identify like, I am the disease. You're not the disease. The disease is talking to you, something that you have to address within your consciousness. And some people are afraid of getting even healthy, because they'll lose all of the in a dark way what they're getting through the disease. Attention, victim consciousness, everybody's on top of you, giving you love, but in a distorted way.
It is a distorted way to want it in pity. Wouldn't it be better to come through the darkness?
Yes.
And
so that's all they're known. That's all they know, but there's another way.
And that comes from wounding. That comes from childhood wounding, definitely.
So you have to lose that identity, because and get out of your story. Because each incarnation has their own story.
Right.
So you're not your story. You're so much more. It's like a tiny speck in the wholeness of who you are as a soul. So there's so many layers to this work. It's it's unbelievable. But I invite people to step away from the obsession of just being in a very high frequency, because the only way you can truly master and be in a high frequency is after you're done with the majority of all this work. You cannot avoid it, because otherwise you'll get a short circuit, and you only bring more chaos into your life. If you don't enlighten yourself from within, no matter how many crystals you buy, no matter if you become vegan. I've been a vegan for a couple of years. I mean, no matter what you do, if it doesn't come from your heart and from the inside out, because there's only your consciousness is the only thing that exists.
I think relationships are tricky. You have some relationships that maybe aren't serving you any longer, but sometimes you have a relationship that really highlights your wounds. And if you're both awake or open to it, you can work on them together. I have a relationship with a good friend, and we kind of can get, or we used to really get in these fights because we were highlighting this, and we would get in these big fights. It would be horrible. We'd be crying, like, lashing out at each other. And then we'd be like, finally we'd come through and we'd be like, okay, this is a mother wound. I think we both have this mother wound. And we'd get over it. And then after, we've been friends for several years. Our last fight was like 5 minutes long. I was like, I'm hurt. And it was like, I'm sorry. I lashed out at you, and I was thinking about myself, and that's what happened. And we got over it. We never even got in a fight. We're like, look how far we've come, And it really made me think that some relationships, you really need to find the difference between cutting it out and working through it. Not every relationship that has problems needs to be cut out. There's shadow work to be done together as groups.
Yeah, that's completely true. And also, a true friend will never enable you into something that is detrimental for you. Never, either alcohol, drugs, or any behavior that it's reinforcing your shadow side. A true friend will always pinpoint, being gentle, hopefully,
hopefully gentle.
You're repeating this, you're repeating this pattern. Why don't you cut it out? It's a toxic thing. I mean, if you develop a close friendship and you truly love the person and you come from love, you can say, basically whatever you want. I mean, I would rather have a friend who talks to me and be completely honest, that have 100 friends that just applaud everything I do. Oh, you're wonderful. Right. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. No, I don't want, I don't want people to put me on a pedestal. You need to be authentic and real, right. and show your true, beingness. I mean, and it's really fortunate when you have friends like that, where you can, because some, it's like right now, it's, to be honest, it's really difficult to maintain friendships with people who are completely asleep, because there's nothing, I mean, there's no resonance, there's no frequency match. There's like, you live in two completely separate timelines of reality, and
literally
the things you see are completely opposite to the things they see. So, but you can still feel love for them, and bless them, and be of service, and be kind, and help them whatever you can, but for me, the relationships I look for are a connection with my heart and soul, at a soul level. So it's only by presence you can enrich each other, just by being in the same place, or even just being connected through the internet or whatever. It's a presence that you feel, the energy of someone else, and it's like-minded, vision and goals, and especially when you find a sisterhood where you share, common work for the planet, and it's incredible, so nice, the bonding that you can make, and because it's everything with the intention of service, being of service. So it's unbelievable the kind of support you can get when you are going through difficult things, and they can see you, they can really see you and feel you, and know it's a totally different level of connection, and that's what I'm very fortunate to have in the groups that I am.
Me too. And it makes a big difference. And I was just thinking about, I have a friend, her name's Angela, and she's also a light worker. And she says that, light workers activate each other. And it's true. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about. It's like when you're with people who are also trying to serve the world, serve others, heal others. And not only the conversations you can have and learn from each other, but just, it's almost like your gifts activate each other in a way where, your gift opens up, or you see more. It's kind of like if you're in a room with lots of intuitive people, and your gift seems larger than normal. You see more, you know more, kind of activating each other, kind of bringing each other up on a higher level sometimes. So it's so fun.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you connect through the frequency. And you can feel each other at a higher level. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
So, well, I wrote a blog post about a few ways to work on shadow work, which I've probably talked about ad nauseum on this channel. So I'd like to ask you, what are some ways that you recommend that people work on their shadow work?
Well, first of all, it depends on the level of wounding you hold, because some people hold extremely traumatic experiences, like SRA, abuse.
Many people.
I mean, the things that I have been discovering and listening and witnessing in other people through the training that I'm doing, it's. I mean, a human mind cannot comprehend the level of darkness and abuse some people go through as children, the child trafficking, and all this stuff that's going on.
And also soldiers of war.
Yeah. So it depends, on the level of wounding you hold, because you need people who are really specialized in this specific type. And mostly they are people who have gone through those types of wounding themselves. And
and you seem to attract that. I attract a lot of people who have the same sort of like sexual abuse that I went through, in my sessions too, and things like that.
Well, those are agreements that you make at a soul level to find somebody that's gonna activate you, hold you, and help you go through. Yeah. So I don't see. I mean, I think it's always made these agreements are made in the upper realms
I say
before
that
we
all the
come
time.
in. Yeah, I truly feel it and believe it. So it depends on that. You will look for somebody that can hold space for you and that you resonate at a heart level, with their bio, with if especially, I mean, it's great if somebody is recommended, by someone that you trust and know,
Yeah.
so you can really open up your field and share. Because as a divine sovereign, I don't open my field anymore to anyone, just
Same.
really people who are really trust, who are honorable, who are really
we're at a certain level too, because it can be so tricky in the learning.
And they can really mess you up. I mean, to be honest, and so you have to really, it's like doing plant medicine. You really have to look for
someone experienced
with a lot of experience, and that it can hold your space and not trick you or make you worse than you already are. So
I do a lot of cleanup of medicine gone wrong.
yeah. So once you find the right person, you start working, and you work until you're done. It's I've tried, I mean, over the years I tried different therapies, but depending on the level of consciousness I was holding at the time, I looked for different people, ended the work. It's funny because I don't know, 4 years ago I was working with a therapist, and I was working with plant medicine at the time, and I would set my intentions with him. We were working, integrating all the work I did, because I was working on my wounding and my shadow from my childhood. And he was so fascinated by my stories, and so we both had a blast until the point that he said, Ligia, I cannot charge you anymore because I'm learning so much from you. I'm growing so much from you that I cannot charge you anymore. And I said, oh no, Peter, I cannot come if you don't charge me. And he said, well, let's do this. I'll charge one session and the other session is for free because you're teaching me so much.
My goodness, what an impact. That's amazing.
So it was I really love that guy. So nice and a beautiful human being. So, and then I found other people. I found Stellar Fairbairn, who's been my teacher, my mentor. I love her to death, and she has taught me so many incredible things. And I have applied every single tool, and that's why I have empowered myself and growth and been able
That's
to
the best part.
come out. So but your teachers are a reflection of you as well. Everything that you admire in somebody else is because you already have it in you.
That's right.
Has to come out.
Yeah, all the things that I teach and know and work with people are things that I learned from someone else, and when we teach them, then people can do that themselves. Just like activating each other, you can learn so much.
Yeah.
And when you work through your wounds, so maybe it's time to then use that to help someone else. I mean, I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Share.
We learn through trauma. And, my friend corrected me the other day, and I think she was so right. It's not that the trauma itself is what we learn from. It's from how we react to it and how you can go forward.
Empower yourself through it.
Do you know what I saw?
You heal. Yeah.
Do you know what I saw the other day? Is I was working on someone in a session, and I saw how we do these same soul contracts that you're talking about, of things that trauma that would happen in our life. And it looked like, little stones in the life path. And I saw that we put up all these things for us to learn from, and how they're more and more and more if we never learn. But as soon as you learn, you veer off into another timeline, because now you don't need all that super hard lessons because you already learned. So now, you have something less, or you have different ones, or they're not so extreme,
Yeah, that's why a very important part of the process is to release. You can release the old, so you have a new space to start a new work, a new healing on yourself. And one important thing that I want to share is that something that you really have to have in mind when you're working with someone is to ask questions to yourself that, am I being empowered? Am I being, shown tools that I can use on my own by myself? Not creating a dependency on the people who are going to help you,
That's right.
And then stay there for, I don't know, years and years and years. And no, a true teacher, a true mentor is somebody who teach you how to do it yourself, teach you how to go through your heart, because everything you heal is through the heart. And something that you can teach to others. It's because the true knowledge, you cannot keep it to yourself. It's something that you learn and then you share and send it to the world for others to use. So be mindful of finding somebody that empowers you and helps you stand on your own 2 feet. So you can do the same for others, instead of doing it for the money or for greed or whatever,
That's right.
You have to stay away from those.
It shouldn't be a dependency. It should be.
No.
And I kind of feel like if someone has a lot of sessions, a lot, and they're kind of the same thing, I start to feel like, well, you need to learn how to do this. You need to maybe do some of the things I'm doing, because you seem to be coming back a lot with the same problem keeps coming back. So it's a sign that you need to learn yourself these things a little bit more, maybe attune to some things so that you can help yourself.
Yeah. And as a facilitator, you have to be aware, is this person is really getting empowered, or is getting dependent on my energy and feeding off my energy, of my consciousness. You have to also be strict and have the integrity to say, listen, you're not doing your work. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to let go of the victim consciousness and take responsibility, for your wounding, because you're the one who has to apply the tools. You're the one who has to do the work. I'm here to hold your space and watch you and give you a hand with compassion, whenever you need it. But you're the one who has to do it. You have to go through the threshold. You're the one who have to push. So it's
and that's who
it's
really,
just witnessing.
That's who really makes huge changes, when you're willing to do the work. Because when I do sessions, they are I'm using spiritual help and your higher self to help clear you, and then here are the things that you need to do going forward. And if you don't do them, then you're going to be back with the same thing. I can't do that for you. That's part of your learning.
That's still spiritual bypassing. Going back to that, you have to take responsibility for your side, because we, as facilitators of healing, we can do extraordinary things for you in the quantum, extraordinary things. But you have to follow up the work, and you have to apply.
And you have to accept it, and you have to. I feel that there's also this part of like thinking about it. Okay, so I've brought this through. This is what's coming through. This is how we're healing it. Now you need to do this, and it's kind of like there needs to be a step of thinking about that, coming to terms with that. I mean, that's part of the session,
Yeah, I see it like planting a seed. You give them a new seed, and that seed needs water, needs soil, a good soil, needs sun. And at the beginning, it's going to be wobbly until it comes, up to the surface. So that work is so critical for the person taking responsibility and making sure that seed becomes a tree. So you can do all the healing, but they need to continue the work, and it's up to them, to co-create this new reality for themselves.
And I think that's actually exciting work. Even though you are working on something that's painful, you can still see the light of it, that, I'm going to be working on this. But again, like we said, I'm not going to let it take over my life, and I'm going to get through it. Because when you get through it and you really are releasing it, like you're saying, releasing density, then you feel so much more joy and presence. It's such a huge difference. I mean, it changes your life. Every bit of it, every little step.
Yeah, and it's a process. It comes like subtle realizations, subtle synchronicities. Some people I've witnessed, they have incredible changes right away, but then it's like an ongoing process that it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when you look back, that's why it's great to journal and write things down, because then you forget. But
it's
then
so
you
fun
say,
to look back at your journals and say, oh, I fixed it. I did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look where I was here. Oh my gosh. I've
My
done so much work.
my
Yeah.
perception has changed and shifted in so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful process.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. Well, this was so fun talking to you. Thank you so much. I love your perspective on all of this. Really beautiful.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. It was amazing. It was, flowing and feeling really whole, loved, and it was great, really great. Thank you.
I want to show everyone some of the artwork that I've bought from you, like these dragons of light.
Oh yeah, I have some here.
I love this
as
so much.
well.
And you can see the painting behind me. That's also yours.
Oh, this painting, yeah, I made this painting as well.
That one too. You're behind me too. Oh, let's see that one, the emerald.
Oh, this one, yeah. This is an emerald.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
This
Ooh.
one. Yes.
And so they can get their own dragons of light if
Yeah,
they're called.
I have some in Facebook in my page, and I also can make them custom made.
This one was custom made for me.
Yes.
A long time ago. It sits on my altar all the time. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Yes. They're very powerful.
Yeah,
very powerful. Yes. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you. And I just wanted to ask the audience, have you experienced spiritual bypassing and how did you get through it? Or what would you like to tell us? We'd love to read about it in the comments. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.